Hello everybody, and welcome back to the Kingdom Hearts 2 playthrough. It's time for us to begin our assault on the castle that never was. At least I think that's what it's called. Either way, we're at Nothing's Call, and we've just got to go all the way up. Now be warned, there are so many cutscenes in this world, it's unbelievable, but oh well. Also, this is a sorcerer. I mistakenly called gamblers sorcerers when we were in Port Royal. But no, these are sorcerers, and they're really effing annoying. Because they're really cool. I love the design and I love the whole thing that they're going with. But I just hate them. Fighting them is a pain in the backside. Also, be warned, you are very likely to be going into anti-form throughout the world that never was. Especially if you decide to use, you know, the forms when you are fighting the bosses. Because you have a ridiculously the multiplier is huge. And so, even though forms are very helpful, and there is the distinct possibility of you going into final form, you are far more likely to be going into anti-form, and that is a very dangerous thing to be in. You will see how dangerous it is soon enough. But I'll also point out that, well, continue to point out, sorcerers are hard. They are easily the most difficult standard nobodies to face down. Because they're very aggressive, they're very fast, and they're quite powerful, so you kind of end up having to do your best. Which is generally how you should play games anyway. You catch me, you kind of have to bring your A game to take down sorcerers effectively. Whereas most of the other nobody goons don't put up too much of a horrendous fight. I mean, berserkers are always a pain, but there is worse out there. And I will also point out that... oh look, we have an elevator sequence. Or lift sequence, whatever the hell you want to call it. What I was going to say before I got a little bit distracted there was that technically, this game, well, I could finish this game within the next 3-4 parts. Because I believe at the end of the next part, if not the part after that, we are literally at the final boss. But much like what I did with my original Kingdom Hearts walkthrough, that is going to be the point at which we turn back and do stuff that we weren't able to do and collect things that I want to collect. So, for example, I want to get Ultima Weapon, I want to get Save the King and Save the Queen, I want to show off the single optional boss fight. Unfortunately, let's just say I don't have quite the same success rate as I did with my Kingdom Hearts walkthrough, and there's a very distinct reason why Kingdom Hearts 2 is a playthrough and not a walkthrough. Because in order to successfully complete it, and thereby do a full walkthrough, I would have to get up to like level 99 to stand much of a chance. And ain't nobody got time for that. Also, we're kind of going to be just making sure that everyone's fully stocked up on things, because it's very important. Also, I have no idea why Goofy doesn't have half of these equipped. I think I just got lazy. Tends to happen. You just sort of forget about Donald and Goofy. And also, sort of, you pick up all these, like, magic boosts and AP boosts, and you just kind of forget that you have them because you don't necessarily need them. I mean, also, like, the drive recoveries. I've picked them up and I've never used them because you don't need to. You gain very, very, very little from using them because, I mean, it gives you your drive gauge back, but you get it back by just, you know, fighting. And since you can't, you know, go into the menu during a battle, you kind of just don't really need to use it unless, you know, you've got multiple boss fights in a row and you've not got a chance to get that gauge back, but then you don't necessarily need it back. It's a bit, eh. Also, level 5, I think, is maybe the highest level that you can go. So, like, we maxed out Valor. But we didn't max out any of the others. And to be perfectly honest, we're not going to. Because, once again, I ain't got time for that, and I'm not gonna kind of get anything from doing it. So it doesn't do me any good. Now, I believe that we are about to kind of head into a massive cutscene, maybe a little bit of battling, but we're basically heading towards our first boss of the world that never was, and it's going to be awesome because we get to stick it to a twat who's been grinding our gears for a long time now. In the Hall of Empty Melodies, so the amount of cutscenes here is ridiculous. Like, the next 10 minutes? Yeah, it's cutscene.
Sora, you've done well.
Where's Kairi?
Who knows? I expect she's catching up with her friend from the darkness.
What do you mean?
She doesn't need you anymore.
I'm supposed to believe that?
Well, you don't have to. But you can believe this. Organization 13 has no further use for you. Just look there. Our Kingdom Hearts. Thanks to you, we've collected countless hearts. Can you hear their euphoria? Now all they need is one more helping from the Keyblade Bearer.
We gotta find!
But Kingdom Hearts!
Sora! Sora, it's really you!
Kairi!
Huh? You leave Sora alone! Sora!
Take it.
This time, I'll fight. You know Sora's completely hopeless without us. Come on, Riku.
Well, well. Will the intrusions never end?
Why, Pete, this castle is perfect. Perhaps we should acquire it.
Well, the setup is kinda nice, I guess. But what about all the Heartless? Oh, this in-between world, it's way too close to the darkness. They ain't gonna listen to us here.
Once again, you underestimate me.
So yeah, oh my god, Kairi has a Keyblade! This was such a big thing back when this game came out, and then sort of since then everyone and their mother has been able to use the Keyblade. I do love that Kairi can wield the Keyblade, and it's explained why in Birth by Sleep. It's the same reason why. Well, it's explained why Sora and Riku get the Keyblade. But also the fact that Kairi wielding a Keyblade here basically allows for, hopefully, Kairi to be sort of playable in Kingdom Hearts 3, which would be amazing, because it would prevent her from just filling the damsel in distress trope, which she doesn't need to fill. Because Kairi's a good character, they've just not used her at all. And also, important plot points, an exposition happening right now.
It's been too long, my friend.
Christopher Lee!
Why didn't you come to me before things got so bad?
Xemnas, the organization superior, is the nobody of Xehanort, my foremost apprentice. The burden was mine to bear.
Is that all?
I won't deny there was more. I was obsessed with thoughts of revenge. My apprentices stole everything precious to me. My research and my pride.
I can't help you with revenge.
I know. Riku's told me 1,000 times.
Where is he?
He must be with his friends by now. Riku was a great help to me. I found him wandering the darkness after you and he lost track of each other.
Gosh, we didn't lose each other exactly. Riku left, well, because Xehanort's Heartless was still inside his heart, troubling him. And he sure must have been suffering. But what I don't understand is why he looks like that now, when he's still Riku at heart.
I am to blame. When I met Riku the first time, he still had the appearance of a boy. Probably because he had such a strong heart. I asked him to find a young man named Roxas from Organization 13 and bring him to me. When I told him it would help Sora awaken from his slumber, Riku left without a word. He fought Roxas, and I can only surmise Riku lost that fight. Riku must have realized then, to fight in the realm of darkness, he would have to immerse himself in that same darkness. And when he did, you saw what became of him. When Riku brought Roxas back to me, he was introducing himself as Ansem. If that was what it took to awaken his friend, he was ready to live in darkness. Riku was the victim of my revenge. Oh, how my heart ached. I could only laugh to hide my shame.
I guess it must have been after that when I saw Riku again. He said he wanted to help Sora, but he made me promise. Promise that Sora wouldn't ever find out about what happened to him while he was out in the darkness.
My friend, the time has come. I must make amends to these young people.
Now, I really, really do like what they did with Ansem the Wise here, because of the whole moral implications of it, because he's basically, he will go for revenge at the cost of everything and everyone. And that's sort of obviously a very dangerous thing, and I like how there's sort of the issue of the moral quandary that he then has, and the fact that he feels he needs to atone for it. But it's time for our boss fight. Hello, Zigbar.
sounds like you haven't. Sora! Roxas!
Roxas? Hey, did he just call me Roxas?
You really put Organization 13 in a pickle. I guess that must be why the Keyblade chose you. But man, did it pick a dud this time. You don't look like you're half the hero the others were.
Birth by Sleep reference.
Rambling? As if. All I'm trying to tell you, traitor, is that your time is up.
Here he comes!
So here we go. The Freeshooter, Xigbar.
You really shouldn't have betrayed us.
As you can probably guess by the cut in the music there, I kinda died on this fight the first time I did it. And for the longest time, I was stuck on Xigbar when I first played the game. Like, I was struggling so much. At the start, you have to go through this sniper segment, and reflective shots back at him, which is easy enough. Fun fact is that in the original Japanese version, the basically the arrow guns kind of join together to make a sniper rifle, and the reticule that you get is actually like a proper, like, FPS crosshairs. But then when it came over to the West, they changed it. So he keeps his guns separate, and you just sort of get that other type of reticule. And yeah, Xigbar's difficult. Basically, all of the fights from this point on are difficult because they are very, very, very aggressive, mostly. And Xigbar's a pain because he teleports everywhere. So, kind of making use of your limits and so on is an excellent plan because it prevents you from getting damaged, and also sort of it means that you can actually effectively hit him. Also, when this happens, you have just got to run. It's a hell of a lot easier when you have, like, glide. But the only way of getting glide is to, you know, get final form, which we can't get yet, because I can't be bothered to try and get it. Having said all that about the challenge of Xigbar, he is fun. And also, do not, I repeat, do not try and go into a form when you're tackling Xigbar, because if you go into anti-form, especially at this point, and then he does this, good luck. Basically, this is why I failed when I did it the first time, because I went into anti-form. Now, the general gist, if you do end up in this situation, is jump at the last minute. Because that is the only way you're going to, or jump and then you move out the way. It's the only way you're going to avoid getting hit and last long enough to survive, and then be able to reflect stuff back at him. But, oh my god. Just the tension at this moment in time, I was just like, oh my god, I don't want to do this again, I don't want to do this again, I don't want to do this again, and then, success.
Clever little sneak.
And I don't know whether I've mentioned it yet, but Xigbar is voiced by James Patrick Stewart, who, the main thing he's known for, I think, is Xigbar / Braig, as he then becomes known in later games. But he's also Private McGregor in Call of Duty 2, Corporal Griffin in Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3, Avalanche and Wolverine in the X-Men, Private Joey and additional voices in The Penguins of Madagascar.
Why did you call me Roxas?
President Hathaway in Monsters vs. Aliens.
hold on.
And
Sora, it's tiny.
yeah, I think that's kind of most things that he's known as. So yeah, he's good. Has the right amount of snark as well, which is wonderful.
Sora and Riku are together. We have no part to play here.
Gee, I wonder if Riku will ever change back.
Riku chose that form so he could use the power of darkness. It won't be easy.
Kairi, we're on our way.
And now it's time to make our way over to Kairi and Riku that Sora doesn't know is Riku just yet. They think it's Ansem because it looks like Ansem, which is fair enough. Now, as we go through this kind of outside area, I'll pretty much bring up that the world that never was acts as quite a nice kind of thematic balance or mirror to the end of the world from Kingdom Hearts 1. Because the end of the world was very much naturalistic, which fits in with the kind of very instinct and innate nature of Heartless, whereas the world that never was is very industrial and very kind of city and castle based, which matches with the more intelligence style focus of the Nobodies. It's a very small thematic thing, but it's quite cool. Also, I do think it just looks amazing. Like, it's foreboding and creepy and kind of just completely insane. And it's just like, this is just quite awesome. Also, it is a lot of fun to fight in the world that never was, particularly kind of, I think, this staircase, because there's a lot of enemies. You can just kind of wreak havoc, but you're still provided at least a little bit of a challenge. It's quite cool. And also, sort of, the only slight frustration with this is that the world that never was is incredibly linear. But I think the areas are kind of expansive enough and twisting enough that even though you are literally just going down one corridor all the way through to the end, you don't ever really notice it. It's like the problem that like Final Fantasy XIII had with its linearity in its corridors was that you literally just felt confined to just running down a corridor, and you never diverged from it. There was literally no reason to kind of go out of your way for anything, and it was like that for the entire game, apart from when you got to Grand Pulse and it all opened up. But that was so far into the game that you literally couldn't care less at that point. Whereas with Kingdom Hearts 2, at least, kind of, it's allowed you freedom in where you go in terms of the locations of the world. Also, anti-form again! Yay! So yeah, it's given you freedom, so you get to the final world and you feel okay with linearity, because it's like, it's that final push towards the end of the game. So it doesn't have that negativeness that linearity sometimes has, especially in RPGs. Because it is just one small bit of a much wider game. Also, I just need to stop trying to go into forms. I mean, I know what I'm attempting to do. I'm trying to, you know, get final form, but it's not happening just yet. Although having said that, this particular corridor is at least one of the places that it's a good idea to go to try and unlock final form. Because after we've gone through the next room in the cutscene, you can kind of come here, go back to the room where the cutscene takes place, and characters are walking about, so you kind of revert your drive gauge, which means that you can then come back out, launch a drive form again, and do that until you unlock final form. I'm not going to do it just yet. Well, I'm not going to do it here, because I kind of screwed up. But that is essentially the technique that I will be using to get final form. It just won't be in this location because I didn't get it at the point where you can do it. Because it's only immediately after this cutscene that it's an effective tactic to use. If you kind of go any further than the next room, then as a tactic to get final form, it vanishes, and you have to wait until basically the last save point to be able to do anything. But anyway, Sora and Kairi are about to be reunited, and Sora and Riku are about to be reunited in what is probably one of the... it's a really touching cutscene, but also does have a slight edge of homoeroticism, and a lot of fanboys and fangirls have kind of latched onto this cutscene as a signal of Sora and Riku's relationship. But yeah, it's a lovely cutscene, just a little bit silly. Also, I love how I'm talking about this whilst Xemnas is being all evil. And also, Kingdom Hearts the Moon. Last game I thought it was a door. I think it is a moon still at this point in time. But I have absolutely no idea, because it keeps changing. Nomura can't seem to make up his mind as to what the hell it is. But, oh well. It's time for that reunion. Oh.
You are different, Kairi, but I'm just glad you're here.
You and Riku never came home, so I came looking for you.
I'm sorry.
This is real.
Wait, Ansem! I mean, Xehanort's heartless. I never thought for a second that I'd ever see you again. Just thinking about all the things you did makes me really mad. But you saved Kairi, right? I have to be grateful for that. Thanks.
Riku, don't go!
Oh?
Kairi, what did you just say?
Riku.
I'm no one, just a castaway from the darkness.
Sora, come here. Say something to him. Here. You'll understand. Close your eyes.
Riku! It's Riku. Riku's here. I looked for you.
Come on, Sora. You've got to pull it together.
I looked everywhere for you.
I didn't want you to find me.
But it was him that was helping us, wasn't it?
Huh?
Those clues we kept finding, that must have been Riku.
I was starting to worry you guys weren't ever gonna catch on. Sora never did pick the brightest friends.
What do you mean by that?
Why didn't you let me know you were okay?
I told you, I didn't want to be found. Not like this. I couldn't. I fought with Ansem, with Xehanort's Heartless. When it invaded my heart and I won. But to use the power of darkness, I had to become Ansem myself.
Does that mean you can't change back?
This battle isn't over. And until it is, I still need the power of darkness.
Then, let's finish it. You're still Riku, no matter what. So how about it? Think we can handle one last rumble together? The king's waiting.
Yeah, let's get going.